You've decided to make a belt. You know what size you need to make it. Now we just need to determine what length to cut the initial belt blank out of. Now, if you're not sure how to determine what size of belt you need, go back, check out our last video, and we talked about that in depth. But moving forward from that, if you're getting ready to cut into a really nice belt blank, it's important that we cut that the right length so that our belt turns out the right size. All right, if we take our belt size, there's only two other things we have to account for figuring out our total length. Because our belt size is going to be from this fold where the buckle attaches down to our center hole, correct? So now we need to add measurements out to that tip for our billet or our tail of that belt. And then we need to measure and allow for this fold to come back around for your snaps, Chicago screws, rivets, however you're attaching your buckle on there. That's what you need to account for. So we take our belt size right here, and then we need to add what we're going to use for a general rule of thumb. I'm going to do a 7-inch billet on here, a 7-inch tail, and that's measuring from our center hole out to that tip. So let's take our initial belt size. I'm going to take this belt blank and we're going to make this a 40-inch belt. Now, we need at least 40 inches. We know that. But now let's add 7 inches for our tail, for our billet. So 40 plus 7, we're at 47 inches. Don't forget about our snap end, right? Now, whatever you want to determine for yours is fine. There's no one way that you have to do it. If you're using my measurements or using this, any of our templates that we have, these belt templates, the measurement that this goes on from the center of this oblong hole here, where the center of that fold is, out to that tip is 3 1/4 inches. So now why 3 1/4? Because over the years building lots of belts, I find that that works well. It allows me enough room in between my snaps that if we're going to add a keeper in there, we can do that. Even a nice metal keeper, there's typically plenty of room in there with the hole pattern that I have here, but you don't have to use that. For my sake, I'm going to use that measurement because that's what we're going on. So we're going to take our belt size, 40 inches. And then we're going to add 7 inches for the billet, so we're at 47 inches. But now we're going to add 3 1/4 for this snap end. So now we're going to be at 50 1/4. So we're going to take this belt blank here. I'm going to start at one end of this belt blank. Now that's going to be where our buckle end is. So we're going to be able to mark that round in there. Use a punch if you have a punch, otherwise you can cut that by hand. And we're going to simply go down to what we said was 50 1/4. I'm going to do this right up here so you can see it. But we come down here to 50 1/4, and we're going to make our mark there. And that's where we're going to cut that to length. That allows plenty of room for our fold, for our snaps to come around, and our billet at the end winding up with a 40-inch belt. So you can use those same measurements to add on to any belt length you want to make. Take your billet length plus your snap end, add that onto your belt size, and you have the total length that you're going to cut your nice Herman Oak belt blank into. I hope this helps. Let me know what questions you have in the comments, and I look forward to seeing you guys on the next video.